The seventh learning principle deals with ideas, feelings, and actions. A culturally sensitive supervisor does not superimpose his or her own value orientation. You find out where that employee's worldview perspective is and help that employee by giving him or her a sense of hope and control and working with them. Principle 8 deals with the immediacy of learning. And adults do need to be able to feel the immediate or see the immediate usefulness of what they're learning. And a culturally sensitive supervisor needs to understand where that employee's perception might be, where that worldview might be, and what is it for them in terms of helping them gain control and understanding what control means for them in terms of their mastery of skills. 9. Clear roles and role development. Well, there must be clear lines of communication between you and the learner. Okay, and if you're going to be culturally sensitive, then you must have a solid understanding of the employee's values, cultural orientation. You need to be able to understand the gender issues, the student-adult issues, the personality style, the approachability of that individual. But you also need to remember you're the boss, okay, in working with that person. But you also need to think in terms of language differences, value and etiquette differences, voice tone differences, or how people cluster in the workforce, okay? Whether they're sitting primarily with individuals of their own race or ethnic background or gender, and so on. Teamwork and the use of small groups. Teamwork cannot be taken for granted. It's a process. It's the quality of safety, and you need to be able to understand teamwork in the context of human nature relationships, time orientation, activity orientation, and human relationships, especially with respect to is the individual individualistic or is the individual collectivistic? All right, and that will determine how effective this teamwork process will be for, in working with your diverse workforce. 11, engagement of learners and what they're learning is very important. And you need to be able to understand, is your employee, because of their cultural orientation, are they passive learners? Are they more aggressive learners, assertive learners? Here you might need to address issues of culture, issues of gender, issues of social learning, learning style differences with that individual. And then accountability. How do they know? How do you know they know? All right? And this is paramount. And this is very important. And the primary responsibility of the supervisor in providing training for diverse staff is to be clear about the content and methodology. And three important things need to be conveyed with staff. And that is the what, the who, and the how. All right? And you need to be culturally sensitive in relationship to doing that. Slide 13 addresses ethical dilemmas in supervision. Knudsen and Harkness discuss ethical dilemmas on pages 469 to 473. In discussing ethics in relation to supervision, they state that there is no problem regarding the obligation of a supervisor to act in an ethical, human manner towards supervisees. The ethical obligation that the supervisor has is to meet the legitimate needs of the supervisee, to evaluate objectively and fairly, to refrain from taking advantage of differences in power, and implement the functions of supervision consciously and responsibly. In other words, it is unethical for supervisors to assign a case to a supervisee who is without the necessary skills and knowledge to offer effective service. It is unethical for either supervisors or supervisees to present themselves as competent to deliver professional services beyond their training level of experience and competence. The supervisor is obligated to respect the confidentiality of material shared with him or her in the process of supervision. The point is that the supervisor is the gatekeeper, or has a gatekeeper function in protecting clients. They also have a gatekeeper function in protecting their staff. They must maintain confidentiality with respect to what their staff tell them about themselves, especially in terms of evaluating the performance of their staff. There's a series of professional codes of code of ethics from a number of different organizations. Examples may be the National Association of Social Workers, the National Juvenile Court Services Association, the Adult Probation and Parole Association, or the American Correctional Association. You should also look at your agency code of ethics. Forum question. Does your agency have a code of ethics? Are staff aware of this code of ethics?